Hey everybody, it's Benjamin here at the Scent Our Fragrance channel, talking about perfumes, colognes, and all things scent related. Today it's a little bit more indie. We're talking about Andromeda's Curse. This fragrance from them is called Uranus. This is a fragrance to me is a little bit more of a sour, piercing, almost somewhat bitter incense fragrance. A lot of their fragrances are heavy on the incense, and this one is no doubt heavy on the incense. I don't want to get into the notes. I'll link their website down below if you want to see the notes. I like to mention notes when there's certain notes that really change the composition in a big way, really stand out in a composition. To me, this one is pretty well blended. None of the notes particularly stand out to my nose. Overall, it's a really interesting, like almost bitter. There's a unique quality to bitter things if you've ever tasted them. They're not exactly heavy, but they have a little bit of this odd texture to them. And there's, of course, the bitterness that comes and results after you taste it. The sourness kind of comes after the bitterness. If you know what I'm talking about, if you've ever bitten into anything particularly bitter, this is has that kind of smell to me. It has like very dense, like almost intense sourness, and then it kind of opens up with the incense, and it's still very sour and very piercing, and very incense heavy for certain. To me, this is not a very pleasant smell. I just have to put it out there. Niche fragrances in general, and indie can be the same way. Indie sometimes can even be harder to like and harder to wear and harder to understand the niche. So don't think that indie is all like playful, fun and games for everybody else out there who just wants mass appealing fragrances. This is not mass appealing. This is not easy to wear, and I dare say that this is a very strange creation, in my opinion. Again, I'm not going to get into the notes. You can look them up if you want. If I get just one big accord with a fragrance, I don't like to dive into the notes unless there's a tone to the fragrance, and I want to talk about what gives the fragrance its tone. To me, there is a tone to this fragrance. I'm not sure if Palo Santo is in this fragrance, but there's a lot of Palo Santo and Gaiac wood that goes into Andromeda's Curse fragrances. And that's what I detect out of this fragrance. I detect a lot more of that kind of quality out of this fragrance. It's not as cloudy, it's not as smooth, it's not a sandalwood like Palo Santo, like Palo Santo can be. Palo Santo can become creamy and airy and cloudy if it's mixed with certain notes, if it's treated right, maybe if there's certain ways of processing it. To me, this is certainly more of a piercing, bitter variety and very authentic to what Palo Santo can be. And I have smelled real essential oil from Palo Santo. There's a very unique quality about it for certain. So if you want something that has that kind of quality about it, similar to Palo Santo, it has a similar quality about it. It's mixed. It's a little, I guess there is a tiny bit of cloudiness to this in a way, but overall, it's just an odd little creature. Performance wise, it's no doubt a decent performer. It's going to get you 6 or 7 hours. There is a little bit of sillage here. Projection's not loud. Projection's just okay. It's just an alright fragrance overall, performance wise. Maybe a little bit above average, but compliment factor wise, it was not a compliment fragrance. This is more to me of something that smells like incense burning. To me, this smells like something that you would want to put in a diffuser, and you can diffuse these. That's one of the great things about indie fragrances, especially when they come and they essentially look like a essential oil to begin with. You can put a couple drops in a diffuser, and this is going to be smelling like kind of a bitter, sharp, intense, sour incense. So some people actually might like that. For me personally, this is not a really pleasant thing to smell and to enjoy. I have to be honest with y'all, but of course, there's different fragrances for different fragrance lovers for everybody else out there in the world. So that's why, again, check out the website down below. Anyways, my friends, again, compliment factor wise, it just didn't work. People thought it was interesting. They thought it was kind of odd, but they didn't find it fun. They didn't find it lovable, and it didn't get me a lot of attention just in general. It smelled kind of like I was burning a white intense kind of incense, and maybe put ashes on my white, like clean ashes on myself, or something odd like that. So not a big compliment getter at all. And price-wise, again, I think that that's one of the great things about this brand. You can get a 10 mil roll-on for $18. That's kind of a bite-sized price. That oil will last you a very long time. You probably won't run through something this unique or wear it that often. I do think that this, because it's more of a linear smell, it's more of a like one smells kind of like more of like one accord. That it could be layered. This could be mixed with other notes and other smells, but I don't know how pleasant that would be. Maybe you could find a way to mix this and layer this with some fragrances that you truly love. It could work that way. But anyways, this fragrance is not for me. It's not my personal taste, and I think that you can get out there and try it. Of course, don't let me ever discourage you from a fragrance or get too enthusiastic that you just want a blind buy. Get out there, smell a fragrance yourself, get your own opinion. I'm only here to help introduce fragrances to you, give you my experience and what I know and what I we know what I understand from a fragrance and my own personal nose and my skin. We all have different experiences and we're all different people, so you might get different results. Anyways, interesting fragrance, Andromeda's Curse. You pulled out another interesting creation from your brand. Again, some of their fragrances are dark and sweet and earthy. Some of their fragrances are grassy and herbal. Some of their fragrances are dark and incensey. This one's not exactly bright, but it certainly is more airy, clean, and piercing in its quality. Very interesting combination, very interesting creation. And I'll see you next time, my friends. Let me know what you think of my review. Have you heard of this fragrance brand? Have you tried them out? Did you check out their website? Of course, I'm not affiliated. I do not get any sort of kickback. Definitely check out the website. And I'll see you next time, my friends. Wear what you love, rock what you got. And if you did like my video today, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, and tell a friend. And I'll see you next time, everybody. Have a good one, and bye.